Hi, and welcome to Pillow Talk with Angela. I'm your host, Angela Stribling, and I'm so excited because we have a dear friend back here on the show. He is amazing, and he's so patient, along with all of his other capabilities. Please welcome the talented singer, one of my favorites, Jay
Hey.
Brown. You know what? Full disclosure. We started this for the second time, and you're just so sweet about it. I so
Oh,
appreciate you.
we had a little hiccup, but we're back at it.
Oh, we are back with no hiccups. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm straight chilling, just getting back to the crib from the gym. Excited to talk to you. So here we are.
That's awesome. You know what? That's an important part of what you do, keeping it together physically as well, staying in shape. Talk about that. I mean, it's not only your voice that you've got to keep up, but it's the whole thing.
Whole package, your mental, your fitness, my voice, everything as a whole matters as it relates to being an artist. A lot of people, they go on the road, they're in artist mode. When they get off the road, they're back to doing whatever it is they were doing prior to being on the road. And some of those things sometimes can be, not really good. So in my case, I try to stay focused. I try to stay on course and take care of all the things I have to take care of because I am a father at the end of the day. So I also have a lot of responsibilities.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, yeah, 2 kids. Yeah. Allison and Mason. My 8
girl.
Yep. So listen, everything I do is for them. So I always make sure that I'm taking care of my whatever needs to be taken care of.
I love that. Okay, so we have to pillow talk a little bit before I let you, before we promote anything or whatever. I want to pillow talk, and our topic tonight is love language. First of all, do you know your love language? Or take a guess. What would you guess it is?
Acts of service, and I always forget the other ones, but I just like to focus on love. I'm all about treating a woman right, and that consists of just, as they say, like those basic fundamentals when you were a child. They say, treat people the way you want to be treated. And so how I would expect for a woman to treat me, I would do the same and then go above and beyond. So not to be a little more specific, but just to kind of like,
I get it. Yeah. Especially, I mean, these days, people are kind of all over the place when it comes to relationships. It's not like back in the day, like old school romance.
Yeah.
It's new school romance, which is not always very romantic.
At all. Yeah. People no longer properly court women. It's like the weirdest thing ever. You rarely see guys open up doors for women, buy them flowers. We're living in strange times. So everything I've learned from my parents and everything I've seen my father do in terms of my mother and their relationship, I've always incorporated that in my relationships, even from high school, middle school on up to college. I've always made sure that I was trying my best to do the right thing as it relates to courting a woman.
I love that so much. It's kind of lost these days on a lot of people, but with a lot, they've got old school values, and it's probably not going to go anywhere. So you know what I mean, and your music kind of goes exactly with what we're talking about as well. Let's talk about your new music and your old music. I've been a fan for so long. For someone who might be new to Jay Brown, how do you describe your music to them?
I would describe my music as it's loving, it's catchy and it's familiar. I have an old school sound, I'm not really into that modern. I mean, I may kind of incorporate somewhat of a modern sound into my music, but I'm more so focused on like the early 90s, early 2000s, late 80s, like that's my style. So when you hear my music, it's definitely something familiar, a sound that I think that a lot of people have been missing for a while. Because when they hear it, they're like, wow, man, he sounds like he's going back to that old school R&B. And there's still a thing, there's still a lane for that because there's tons of people who grew up on that sound. So listen, that's what you're going to get with my music, some good vibes, I'll tell you that.
I love that so much. Don't go changing.
Nah, can't do that. If it's broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, and it ain't broke.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to other people about your music, and let's say they've never heard Jay Brown before, younger people even, right. Is that how you describe it to them?
Yeah, I would say if I were to describe my music to a younger person, I would probably sum it up by saying my music's just about spreading love, positive love. Like, if you're a fan of just good music, good instrumentation as it relates to like a quality R&B song, because a lot of kids, believe it or not, like when I was younger, like I would listen to certain things that my parents wouldn't expect me to listen to because I just had that appreciation for music.
Yeah.
So it does exist.
Yeah.
It's not like a needle in a haystack when it comes to finding kids who still listen to that non-auto tune-ish type vibe, auto-tune folks, but you know what I'm talking about, Angela. So,
Yes, I do.
because I'm sure you ain't listening to that auto tune.
No, I'm
No,
not.
no,
No,
exactly.
thank you.
Yeah, maybe
Thank
at
you.
the gym if you hear it, you may, but
It's like nothing you could do about it. You know what I love? I mean, you can hear your musical roots, and I understand that you actually grew up singing in the church, right?
yeah, father, son of a pastor. My mom was once working with Smokey Robinson, her and my aunts. So she was around all those Motown legends like for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Motown, I mean, you're in Detroit, from Detroit, right?
From the D. From the D.
From
Yeah.
the T. I mean, you can't help but be influenced by all this great
For
music.
sure. And we, Stevie Wonder, all the greats.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
All the greats. So, all right, talking about newer artists, how was it working with, or tell us about the experience working with October London? I'm a fan. I love his
Oh yeah,
sound.
yeah. No. October, that's my dog, man. We developed a friendship the first time we were on the road together. I was on tour with him early 2024. And ever
Oh,
since then, we were just like solid, like that's the home. Actually, I talked to him before I called you,
nice.
because we have a new single coming out, called "Just a Matter of Time."
Yes.
Yeah, we both worked on that together.
That song is fire.
Thank you, thank you. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've heard it. I don't
Oh yeah,
know.
you're right. You have heard it, and you all can hear it too if you download my new album. Just a Matter of Time, available on all downloadable platforms. You
I
can hear it.
love that. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really, really nice. So, of all of your projects, do you have a favorite?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't do that.
Okay. I
You
know
set
that's
me up, Angela. No, I'm glad you did though. Because you know what? I do have a favorite. Sometimes when people ask me, I'm like, dang, should I answer that?
like, yes.
Team is listening, but I'm gonna keep it 100. My favorite album, right?
Yeah.
It would be this one. Yeah.
Ooh, now why? Tell us about those who haven't heard the whole thing. Tell us about the vibe and what makes it your favorite.
I would say because from start, not to say the other ones from start to finish didn't have those elements that I like, but I feel like the other ones were kind of rushed. Although I did have my last two number ones with my previous album, The Art of Making Love. However, this particular album, Just a Matter of Time, it just, like I said, from start to finish, a lot of people have told me, and I kid you not, people that I don't even know, they're like, yo, there are no skips on this album. And I'm like, really?
Mm,
But I would agree with that. It's a pretty solid album. Yeah.
I
So
love that. Oh my God, I can't wait to listen to the whole doggone thing now.
please do. Please do.
Yeah. So, all right. I know you've got a lot of accomplishments. You've got an honorary, you've got a doctorate. You do.
But outside of that doctorate, I do have a bachelor's and a master's, and those aren't honorary.
You need to, yeah, people need to know that. I mean, the honorary is great, as well. All of it is good stuff.
Achievement. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I also love about you is that you're a philanthropist and you do a lot of work for, hospitals and volunteer work. Tell us about that. You're
Yeah. For the philanthropy, I'm currently an ambassador for St. Jude, and I've been working with them now for maybe 5 years. So
that's awesome.
yeah, so it's not like one of those situations when people hear it, they're like, "Oh, are you just donating money?" No, I'm actually going there. I don't want to say on the front lines, but in a sense, I'm actually working with the children, and whether that's reading to them, arts and crafts, just spending time with them, playing with them, like just to uplift their spirits, is something so fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I feel like every child, any child deserves a fighting chance, but in that particular situation, battling cancer, I mean, I wish I could give them more than I have, but it's a great thing just being there and supporting them.
Yeah, that goes a long way. I mean, you'd probably be surprised at, you know, just spending a few moments. I mean, even, excuse me, even something that isn't quite as, severe and impactful as what you're doing, just a little bit. Like, sometimes I'll go to high schools and just speak to students, speak to the girls about,
Yeah.
their future. And that goes a long way. So
Oh,
imagine, what you're doing. I mean, that, whew,
yeah.
God bless you. Yeah.
Yeah. Shouts out to both of us. How about that? Because we're both doing it. You
Thank
know.
you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Include me in that.
For sure. Gotta give shouts out, Angela. I have to.
I always love it when you're on the show and you're always so generous about coming and
Oh,
we so appreciate just having you on and catching up with you and finding out what you're up to lately. So you've got this great new music that's out now. You're a philanthropist. You are on Pillow Talk. You're a relationship giving advice
yeah.
here. You're on the show. So what else is it that you're doing? What is it that we don't know about you that you want your fans to know?
What else am I doing? I just wrote a book for
What?
my. Yeah. Hold for a second.
I had no idea. He's sitting here acting like he's just a regular guy. Well, regular guy who sings amazingly and has a book.
Yes.
He's an author.
I wrote it for my son,
Oh,
and
Mason.
his name's Mason. My dad's name is LaRue, so it's his first day at school. And this is something just uplifting for children. Something to kind of give them the encouragement that they deserve to have while going to school. And it just kind of just lists things that kids battle every day while going through the process of, from start to finish. This right here sums up what a lot of kids go through, but it's mostly, I decided to write it because I wanted to uplift kids and give them a better chance at encouraging themselves. And, I felt like it was time for me to do it because I have kids and I want to make sure that they're feeling fulfilled at school. And what better way to do that than through a book rather. So
I love
illustrations are pretty cool too. So it's
how does one get the book? Amazon or what?
Amazon. Yes, it's on Amazon. So it's pretty cool. And it goes through all the things that children deal with while at school,
I mean, first day of school.
Yeah. It's
traumatic.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good solid read and easy to read too, so yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
So people can go and purchase your music. I guess
Yes.
wherever it's sold.
Yep.
They can purchase the book on Amazon, anywhere else?
Yes. Amazon. It is also physical copies are at Barnes and Noble.
Oh, nice.
So I have my Barnes and Noble.
To have the physical copy.
Yeah. We have these physical copies at Barnes and Noble. And my new album, Just a Matter of Time, is available on all downloadable platforms.
There you go. I love it. And just words of inspiration to leave us with before you leave Pillow Talk with Angela this time.
Before I leave, I want to say, if you're an aspiring artist, dare to be great. Never give up on your dreams, because I am a living witness that you can make it. I don't have a big machine behind me, so to speak, in terms of a major label. I am independent, but I'm a believer and I'm persistent. So as long as you believe, I assure you, you will get to the finish line. You might receive 100 no's, but eventually you'll receive the right yes. If they said no to Prince, they'll say, listen, Prince. Angela, am I lying? You know.
You're not lying. Yeah.
Listen, they told Prince he wouldn't be anything, and Prince, there'll never be another Prince. We all know that.
Never, ever. Yeah.
Never give up. Moral of the story, just keep fighting. And if you want to stay in touch with me, I would hope that you would check out my music. Just a matter of time. Follow me on Instagram. J Brown Music Only is my Instagram tag. Just the letter J, last name Brown, Music Only. And I follow back. So yeah, hit me up.
It's easy. Yes, I follow you. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. See, Angela's following.
So you might as well follow him too.
Come on.
Thank you so much.
You might as well follow me.
Might as well. Exactly. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
All the best to you. Thank you for presenting all the best to our listeners every time that you're on. Thank you all for listening to Pillow Talk with Angela.
Yes.
And this is so much fun. Jay Brown, make sure you get his music, support this artist.
Thank you.
That's the most important thing. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Peace, Angela. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.